in the rock vault. Do you know Les Warner, drummer?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we've got a couple of songs. We've got a great singer, and we're working on the first video. It's taking a little time to get the first video together, but yeah, man, I'm doing lots of writing, and I'm really, you know, making this time work for me.
Absolutely, that's tremendous, and I'm glad to hear that. How long have you been on Raiding the Rock Vault now? How long's it been?
Oh, I think I've been in the show good 3 years, 3+.
Does it get what's it like, those songs? Because the set list is very calculated. You cover so much. Does it get old playing those songs? That's the wrong word for it, but never.
No,
because they're classics.
They're classics. And the coolest thing about the Rock Vault, I mean, as you say, the set list is great. Howard Lee's put the set list together, and he always says, nope, we're not changing it. It's working great, because most of the people that come to the show, they're seeing it for the first time, you know, 80-90% of them. And obviously we start with the Doors and the Who, and then we get into Deep Purple, Hotel California. I mean, all just classics, one after the other. And every time I play them, I'm trying to do them justice, the guitar parts, and get them. And we're always goofing around on stage and having fun and cracking each other up, and it's just such fun. It's you know, people love the show, so it doesn't get old. No,
the show it's a must go. You know, I become friends with Sir Harry Cowell, and we hook up every time I'm down there. I haven't been since then, like I said, back in February, which was the last concert I've been to. I hope I don't have to take that to my grave, though, Rowan. We got to get something going here. What if there was a show tomorrow? Would you be there? I mean, I'm not trying to you know, put the spotlight on you, but if what is your thought?
I would be there. I mean, I maintain, you know, I maintain a sensible attitude in my mind, you know, of how to act, you know. But I certainly don't stay at home. You know, I definitely get out there a bit, and yeah, I would consider going to a show. Yeah.
Well, what was the last show you've been to, like, as a fan? Do you remember?
Oh, as a fan, man, probably something at Vamped in Vegas.
Yeah.
They have some great bands. Like I saw a Metallica cover band called Damage Inc., and it's like seeing Metallica in like 1982. It's killer.
That's a time where I think a lot of us would like to revisit for Metallica, for sure. That was a lot of our people's favorite eras, for sure, the early days. I mean, we're kind of zigzagging around here, Rowan, because you've done so much and you've been around for so long, yet you're still such a young man. Growing up,
thanks for saying. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. You're the young guy, and pretty any band you're in, and that's been the case.
I'll have a cane, and I'll be like, putting Ben Gay on, and I'll be like, I'm the kid, man. I'm the kid. Hey,
you'll always be the kid. You always have that. What was your kind of upbringing like? Because, you know, and I want to get into when you joined Dio, but prior to that, were you just a typical kid growing up, idolized these bands that from England or from America, and you just kind of fell into that kind of music at an early age?
Yeah. By the time I was about sort of 16, I mean, I had all the posters on my wall, like Anthrax and Bon Jovi, and I was a huge Steve Vai, David Lee Roth, Van Halen fan. LA was where it was at. I mean, you know, the LA guitar sound, Randy Rhoads. There was like 1,000 kids in my school. There was like five of us that were into like hard rock. And first show I saw at Hammersmith Odeon was Anthrax with Metal Church and Crimson Glory. So wow. yeah, that was when I really sort of got good at the guitar. I mean, Shrapnel. I was just listening to Vinnie Moore this morning, actually, and the Yngwie album he did with Joe Lynn, you know, Odyssey. That's a great album. And just a regular,
Well, then you're in Dio at age 17. And I mean, this has been brought up in every interview you've ever done. I'd say most people that listen to us know who you are, know the story. But for those that don't, I mean, you joined at age 17, and it wasn't just, there was some circumstances that occurred to let this happen, and you had to kind of go for it. You're the ultimate example of, if you want something, go get it. Is that kind of how it worked for you?
it is how it worked, and you're absolutely right, and I definitely believe that still, that you know, if you want something bad enough and you go for it and you go for it and you never give up, you know, you'll get it. But yeah, I sent the audition tape to the record company in London, and they sent it back to me, and they said, we're not interested in guitarists. So they didn't really even read it, you know. So then I sent it back over to the US. I sent it to Los Angeles to the fan club, and just kind of forgot about it, really. It was just me on a boombox playing guitar. And then I played along to Last in Line. I put Last in Line on track 1 of the 4-track, and I did a solo over it. And I wrote a nice letter with it and a picture of me, like doing the, you know, with the spiky hair, you know, in my house, you know. And yeah, I completely forgot about it. And then Wendy called me up and said, how would you feel playing in front of 20,000 people? And I was a real cocky kid back then. And I just went, yeah, all right, I suppose.
Well, you had just seen, is it true that you had just seen Dio at, was it Kessler, was it Donington?
Donington, yeah, I was front row. I was like right on the barrier for 1987, or maybe one person in front of me. 1987, they played, yeah, with Craig. And yeah, I was right there. That was about a year before I got the gig.
Which style kind of did you prefer? As you, I mean, growing up, I mean, you have obviously Holy Diver comes out in 1983. Last in Line comes out in 85. You got these two just sister albums that are just powerhouses. And you got Vivian Campbell, who's a great friend of our shows, has been on many times. Then you got Craig Goldie that comes in. You think about Sacred Heart. What style did you prefer? What did you take more of? And or was this just you and this is who you are as a guitarist and that's kind of what you brought? Or did one of them kind of influence you more?
Well, all I remember is I had the Holy Diver album, and it was just, I mean, I used to crank it up on my stereo in my room, like blast it. And then Last in Line, I had that album, and it just get the head between the speakers and crank it up. I just loved those albums, and I love Dream Evil too. That was it. To me, it was all just Dio. I didn't really think, oh, he's better than him or he's better than him. I just, they're great albums. And as for my style, that started back when I got into Hendrix when I was like a kid, you know, like maybe, I don't know, like 12, 13, and then Hendrix, and then ZZ Top and Queen, and then I discovered Steve Vai, Eddie Van Halen, Shrapnel guys, obviously Angus, Tony Iommi, obviously. I wouldn't say I was influenced by Tony Iommi's guitar style. I loved Sabbath, but Scott Knott from Anthrax got in, his rhythm. So
Sure.
just a load of things, And I used to buy Guitar Magazine, you know, Guitar Player. I used to, you know, get the sound page out of Guitar Player, Paul Gilbert, you know, Racer X.
What? Okay, so Lock Up the Wolves is the album you wind up recording, and I think it is so underrated. I'm such a fan of songs like Wild One, Hey Angel, Night Music, but you've got such a great, this is a great lineup because you got Simon Wright. Was Jimmy Bain still? Jimmy Bain?
Well, Jimmy Bain and Claude Schnell and Vinny were
right
in the band that I joined all the way up to about 10 months when the lineup started changing, and then we finished the writing and made the album. I guess I chased them all away.
Yeah, that's actually here. That's on your Wikipedia page. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but just talk about, because I mean, it's as of May, it's been 10 years since we lost Ronnie. I'm so thankful I got to see the Heaven and Hell lineup about a year before he died with Motorhead and with Judas Priest on the Metal Masters tour. And I just hold that show in my heart forever because Ronnie's so impactful for me as a singer and a performer. But what's Ronnie like as a person? Because every single person we talk to talks about how he never forgets anybody's name. He could meet somebody and come around and know a record guy's name or a radio show host name. He probably would even remember mine years later, which is insane.
Oh,
what was he like as a person?
Well, that name thing, it was uncanny. I mean, he would see someone, you know, like backstage or something, someone he'd only met like 10 years ago for 10 minutes. And he'd say, Mark, how you doing? Is your mother okay? You know what I mean? It was really uncanny, really uncanny. And he genuinely loved his fans. He really did. He loved the people that support him. He used to tell us you don't get on the tour bus. You don't get on the bus until you've signed everyone's thing because they put you here. I mean, he was really genuinely loved his fans, and he was a funny guy. I mean, he was hilarious. I mean, he was just he was like a one-man army, you know, Ronnie. He was great. You know.
We had Doug Aldrich on, who, you know, played with Ronnie in later years, and he talked about how they'd be at a bar watching football, and Ronnie would be like stopping fights from happening. But he was like, because Ronnie, I think, was an Eagles fan. No, he was a Giants fan.
Right.
And Doug was an Eagles fan, and they'd be watching like the games, and Ronnie'd be like breaking up fights. I mean, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Was it a hard gig, Rowan?
No.
That's a simple question, I guess. It's not. No, he was easy to work
with.
Not
a hard gig at all. Not a hard gig at all. And Ronnie, like, even though I guess technically it was his thing, Ronnie loved the music of bands, and Dio was a band. In my opinion, it always was a band. The guitar player did his thing. Bass player did his thing, and it wasn't like, oh, you know, we're working for someone. It was a band, and a lot of fun, a lot of all the good fun things that rock and roll bands should do. You know, that sounded silly.
No, no, not at all. What was your thoughts? Because last summer I did go and see the Dio Returns tour, and I'll be honest, I loved it. It got a lot of flack. People, you know, I don't think they got it. But seeing those musicians and seeing those songs brought to life with Ronnie as a visual, I thought was tremendous. And Jeff Pilson, who played bass for Ronnie in later years, said that Ronnie would have loved it. He loved technology, and said that he in life would have loved the thought of himself post-mortem still performing. So what did you think? What did you think of that?
He'd be like, fuck, can't I just get a break? I'm tired already. No, I don't know how he would have felt about it, but I really enjoyed it. I saw it at the Wilton, and I think it's like seeing the Dio songs brought to life in a different way with those wonderful visuals, and you get to enjoy the songs. I mean, what's not to love, you know? It's great.
What's going on with Bang Tango? Because you've played with those guys.
I know that Joe just has been playing with the original lineup, which is great to hear, because those first 3 albums were like amazing. Not like amazing, they were amazing. But no, I'm still in contact with those guys, and I'm really good friends with them. But I haven't played with them for quite a while because the Rock Vault thing, my show, it just was had to be my main focus.
Very interesting. And DC4, what's going? I mean, it's been a couple years. Has there been anything going on there?
I spoke to Jeff actually last night. We had a great chat, and he's finishing up with the videos for the new Armored Saint album, which is doing really well, not surprisingly. And he said he's got a load of riffs, and he's turned them into songs now. And he asked me to, if I've got any riffs, you know, send them to him as well. So there will be another record from that, at least.
That's great to hear. See, I mean, we got to get back to some symbolicity of normalcy, man. I tell you, this has been crazy. We usually do 40 to 60 concerts a year, just covering and interviews and all that backstage. And to not have no festivals, we usually do things like, Rocklahoma and some of the bigger ones around the country and travel. And it's just like sitting here has been crazy. So we want to get things back, and rating the Rock Vault is, I think, so important for rock and roll. I'll tell you this, the last time I was there, my girlfriend brought her 21-year-old daughter. She just turned 21. We were in Vegas for her 21st birthday.
Oh, cool.
She was so in love with those songs. She might have known those songs from some movies and things that you see on YouTube videos or video games. Those songs are prevalent, but she walked away from that and she was like, oh my God, like those are the songs. She developed a whole new fan. So those songs, that show is important because it harnesses a new generation. You know what I mean?
It does. I see it. We used to see it every night. People bring their children and they absolutely love it. It's great. It's really nice to be introducing that to a younger generation. Absolutely. Cool.
I think it's important, and I think that hopefully we get to a point where we can do that. How's Vegas? So you live in Vegas, I assume.
Yeah.
Right. How's it going right now? I haven't been since February. So is it more open now? Like what's it like? I
haven't been going out to the casinos because I was never really, my only reason to going to the casinos was if I was going out for a drink with my friends,
Sure.
or doing the show. But I believe some of them are open. I believe some of them are open to a sort of a limited capacity. That's all I know, really. But it seems to be, you know, I mean, when you go in the shops, you know, people obviously are still wearing masks and stuff. Yeah, what can you say? I mean, it's opening up a bit, I guess, you know.
It seems to me in the last decade that Vegas has kind of become the new LA. You talked about being such a fan of the LA players and the LA scene kind of as growing up.
Yeah.
So many of those guys have moved to Vegas. That's kind of where it's at now.
Yeah. It's going through its Vegas phase.
I love it because I mean there is so much going on. There's so many places to play. You talked about Vamped and some of the great venues, and you know, so many great places where some of the venues you guys have played, whether it be the Tropicana or the Hard Rock, or now I think that you guys may wind up having to move again. I think that casino may close. They're talking about closing it and redoing it again. So you guys might have to move again.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's move. Let's go.
Rowan, it's such a pleasure, man. Before we let you go, we got to give you our final 4 drum roll, which is 4 quick questions, 4 fun questions, and you give us whatever comes to mind. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, so question 1, what show or shows on Netflix or on stream, what have you been watching kind of during these crazy months? Anything good?
Shows, I don't really follow shows. I watched the world's hardest race. I watched all of that.
There you go. That was a good one. That was one I might not have expected. That was a good one. What is the first album you remember buying with your own money?
First album probably was Jimi Hendrix live at the Fillmore.
What was your
Gypsies.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's incredible. What was your favorite venue to attend a show in England as a fan? Like, what was your favorite show? You talk about going to Hammersmith Odeon's hard to top, but was there another club or something that you like to go into see shows at even better?
No, because I was in LA by 17. Hammersmith.
Oh, cannot beat that. Okay, so what was your favorite Dio song to play live?
Tarot Woman.
Ooh, I love Rainbow era. Let's do that. That's great. I love that stuff. What was your favorite song? We'll do a final 5. What was your favorite song off Luck Up the Wolves?
Wild One.
Leads off the album title. That's great song. Rowan, I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how much fun this has been. The next time that we see each other, hopefully it's at a Rating the Rock Vault show. It's in Vegas, and we're getting this thing ramped back up again because you guys are doing such great work there. You guys are all so great musicians, and the show's outstanding. Rowan, can't thank you enough. We'll be looking for the other projects coming up soon as well, man. You're the best.
Thanks for keeping it going, Clint. I really appreciate having me on.
Always, man. Thank you.
Okay, man.